Hey guys. Part 7. This is what if Naruto took care of Sasuke who turned into a baby. Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. Let's start. Chapter 20. The Sly Fox. The day had not started well for Naruto. After breakfast, Sasuke said he felt ill and vomited everything in seconds. When Naruto gave him a tea, the boy threw up again. An hour later, Sasuke still felt feeble and sick, his skin was wet with cold sweat, and he almost fainted when he tried to get up. The doctor came to the house and told Naruto that Sasuke was probably reacting badly to the sudden gain of appetite, and that his stomach had been unable to keep up with the recent meals. Naruto laid Sasuke in bed and gave him his medicine, which the boy accepted only because he was too tired to fight back. Shortly afterwards, the child was asleep. After eating lunch alone in the kitchen, Naruto heard someone banging on the window. It was one of the small toads that he used to be in touch with Tsunade and Gara. Frowning, Naruto opened the window and pulled the scroll around the frog's neck. The symbol was from Tsunade. Even more intrigued, Naruto rushed to open the letter. He had written to inform Tsunade about Sasuke already, so he didn't understand what the Kazekage wanted. The letter was incredibly short. Naruto. Summon a frog. I want to talk to you urgently. Gara. Confused, Naruto left the apartment and climbed the wall to the roof where he summoned Gamakichi. Yo! It's been a while. The orange-colored frog exclaimed, even bigger than the last time Naruto had seen him. Where's Sasuke? Hi. Sasuke is sleeping. Gamakichi. I need you to go over Tsunade. Huh. But the Kazekage is only supposed to visit you next year. I know that, but Gara says he has to talk to me at once. Can you go there? Okay. Ja-ni. With a puff of smoke, the frog disappeared. Naruto leaned against the wall and waited. 5 minutes later, Gamakichi reappeared bringing the unmistakable Sabaku no Gara. The young Kage was taller and seemed to irradiate an aura of power and authority. He wasn't wearing his Kage's robe, but his battle clothes and his gourd of sand on his back. Naruto smiled at him and moved towards the Kage. Hey Gara! You look great! The blonde exclaimed. Naruto Gara greeted with a nod and his usual expressionless face. Call me when you need me, Naruto Gamakichi said. Sure! Thanks, Gamakichi. The frog disappeared as quickly as he appeared, leaving the two comrades alone on the roof. The winter sun was rather hot, and the air was heavy with sea smell due to the wind which messed their hair and clothes. We need to talk, Naruto Gara said with a serious gaze. Both young men came down from the roof and entered Naruto's kitchen through the window. It was the first time he saw Gara that year, and he had not seen the apartment yet. Naruto felt himself blush when noticed the dirty dishes on the table in the kitchen. He suspected that Gara was pretty tidy. We'll talk in the living room, okay? Naruto asked, leaving the kitchen and headed for the living room. They sat in two chairs facing each other. Sasuke? Gara asked, noticing the toys on the floor. He's asleep. Bachan told you what happened to him. Yes. I learned about the snake bite. He'll be alright? Naruto nodded. Most likely. He should be completely recovered in a week. I see. And what brings you here, Gara? Not that I'm not happy to see you, but your letter said you had something urgent to talk to me. The redhead Kage leaned against the chair and took a deep breath before turning to stare at Naruto. It was best to be direct. Your peers and teachers found you. Naruto gaped and stared at his friend as if he had not heard right. What? How? What happened? Naruto asked, perplexed. It was Temari who told me, Gara explained. Nara Shikamaru confessed her their plans some time ago. Apparently your comrades were not convinced with Tsunade's explanation that you took some time to travel. They were suspicious. As the Hokage didn't tell them the contents of your letters, it only further convinced them that something was not right. The idea of doing a search team set off from your teammate, Hareno Sakura. Naruto took a hand to his face and rubbed his eyes. Oh Sakura-chan, Rock Lee's team found a woman in a shop near the road that you talked to. From there, they began looking through forests and small shops in search of clues and work out what path you were following. Finally, they discovered you in the land of Sunday. They also concluded that it'd be in the smaller villages. Gara looked at Naruto in the eyes. The members of the Konoha 11, an ANBU ninja named Sai, Hatake Kakashi, Might Guy, and a member of ANBU called Yamato left Konoha a few weeks ago, will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow? So fast. I wanted to tell you sooner, but Temari just informed me a few hours ago. Naruto stood up and began to walk from one side to another without knowing what to do. Suddenly, he became very tense and turned to Gara. And Sasuke? They know about Sasuke? Gara shook his head. I don't think so. No one mentioned that you were seen with a child. Really? Good. Naruto sat back in his chair with his face buried in his hands. What a mess, what a fucking mess. Naruto. Gara muttered. What are you going to do? Naruto rested his hands on his lap and took a deep breath. It is too early, Naruto said. It is too soon to know the truth about what really happened to Sasuke. He deserves a normal childhood. He needs one. He suffered nightmares about horrible things from his past, and only recently managed to overcome them. Finally, he's living as a child. Can't take that away from him. Gara remained quiet and silent, but was staring at Naruto intensely. If they know, there will be questions. They will question Sasuke and confuse him. He's still too young to understand what happened, Naruto continued, more and more distressed. I hate to lie and hide things from my friends and sensei, but I have to protect Sasuke. He is only a child now. He cannot hurt anyone or answer for his crimes. I can't take risk to have him living in an environment where everyone hates him for something that he doesn't even remember doing. The horrible things he did are still very recent, and He's your son, Gara interrupted, causing Naruto to look at him. He is your son now, and you want him to have a happy and normal life as long as possible. Naruto stood without speaking for a few seconds but eventually nodded slowly. Yes, he's my son. And I can't let my child suffer what I've suffered. Gara closed his eyes and nodded. If you think that, Naruto, what do you intend to do? Gara asked again, reopening his pale green eyes. Papa? The two boys turned to the doorway. Sasuke was clinging to the doorknob and looked at them with sleepy eyes. Hey, sleepyhead. Naruto greeted him. Sasuke noticed that his daddy was not alone. A red-haired man he had never seen was also in the living room. Sasuke came up to his father and climbed into his lap, leaning his head on his chest and staring into the unknown visitor. Who's he? The child asked to Naruto. Don't you remember him? The last time he saw you were learning how to talk. Sasuke, this is Gara, Naruto introduced. He is my nakama. Nakama? A comrade? Sasuke asked. Gara approached Sasuke and knelt in front of them. Sasuke could not help but look at the man with no eyebrows. He seemed very serious and powerful. Just by looking at him, Sasuke knew he was powerful and intimidating. Sasuke and Gara remained silent, staring at each other for a while, to the point of Naruto starting to feel uneasy. Finally, Gara raised a hand towards Sasuke. My name is Sabaku no Gara, he introduced himself, his lips curving into a small but genuine smile. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sasuke hesitated, but eventually gave him a handshake. The man could be a little scary, but he didn't look mean. Gara of the Desert, what funny name. Nice to meet you, Gara-san. My name is Uzumaki Sasuke. Gara nodded and went back to sit in his chair. Sasuke felt impressed with Gara and regretted being sick. He didn't want him to think that Sasuke was a weak baby. Gara, meanwhile, was also impressed with the child. He could see remnants of the Sasuke he had known before the Chunin exams, recognizing the look and attitude of defiance. However, the boy was still pure and his desire not to be intimidated was a way to try to give a good first impression. Gara-san, you're a tanuki? The toddler asked innocently. Gara blinked and Naruto almost choked. Sasuke! Naruto exclaimed. But, he looks like a tanuki, Papa, the child argued, pointing to Gara's face. See? He has black rings around the eyes and everything. That doesn't mean he's a tanuki, son. I'm a human being, Sasuke, Gara said impassively. But you're right, my appearance resembles that of a raccoon dog. Once, I made a sand tanuki, Sasuke exclaimed. Naruto and Gara blinked in surprise and Sasuke blushed. I know that's silly. In response, Gara took sand out of his gourd. Sasuke stared with wonder at the sand that swirled around Gara. Wow! What's that? Magic? Did you see Papa? You saw what he did? Naruto smiled at him. Yes, I did. It is one of Gara's powers. Powers? The toddler asked. Tanuki powers? Gara smiled. I think you can say that. Delighted by the flying sand, Sasuke turned to Naruto, putting his hands on his chest. Nuh. Papa? You have magical powers too? Like a tanuki? Oh no! I'm not a tanuki. Naruto looked at Gara in his eyes. I guess you could say that I'm a fox. A fox? Sasuke asked, bewildered. Like the magical foxes? Those who pull pranks and have many tails? Exactly. That's why you have those marks on your face? Because you have fox powers? Perhaps, Naruto said with a cunning smile. Like the nine-tailed fox? The strongest? Definitely the 9 tails. Wow. And me? Can I be a magical animal? You. And what sort of animal you want it to be? I don't know, said Sasuke. But one that has to be cool. Papa, what animal do you think I am? Naruto crossed his arms and stared at Sasuke with a resolute expression. A bird, said Naruto. You're definitely a bird. Sasuke did not seem very impressed. A bird? But the birds are weak and lame. Hey! It's not just any bird. You would be a phoenix. A phoenix? What is it? A phoenix is a huge fire bird, said Naruto. It's very strong and agile. And when it dies, the phoenix is reborn from its ashes and lives again. The sacred bird of fire, huh? Gara muttered. It's a powerful creature. Sasuke had become interested. The idea of a huge fire bird seemed very cool. A fire bird. It's stronger than a fox, Sasuke said, looking slyly to his father. Don't get cocky, Naruto replied teasingly, stroking Sasuke's hair. After all that talk, Sasuke began to feel tired again and curled up in his father's arms. When he finally fell asleep, he was still thinking about the phoenix, flying majestically through the sky. Naruto continued to stroke Sasuke's back as he slept. That child had no major concerns except about eating all his vegetables, brushing his teeth, and behave in the nursery school. Naruto couldn't let Sasuke deal with the harshness of the shinobi's life yet. He had promised to give him a happy childhood. Gara, Naruto whispered, staring at the sleeping child in his arms. I can't let the truth be known yet. I'll leave as soon as possible. Are you going to run away just like that? Gara said. Think about it. The people of this village know that you have a young child, they know his name and his physical appearance. If your friends ask questions, they can reach that conclusion. In addition, Sasuke's scent is everywhere and your rescue team includes your sensei, Hatake Kakashi, and Inuzuka Kiba, with their hunt dogs. They know Sasuke's scent. They will know that he was here with you and alive. Naruto paled. He didn't even consider his friend's abilities. Gara was right. Escaping would not be easy and time was running short. So what can I do? Naruto asked, exasperated. I won't stay here waiting for them to find me and Sasuke. Even if I summon a toad, they will know. They'll come to the conclusion that I have used Mount Myaboku as cover. Gara nodded slowly before getting up and took a scroll from his pocket, throwing it at Naruto, who caught it with one hand. Then I advise you to quickly learn that jutsu, the Kazekage said. Naruto stared at the scroll and opened it. His blue eyes opened with wonder and turned to stare at Gara. This is... How did you know that I have the wind element? Gara remained impassive. It doesn't matter. Can you master this technique quickly? Yes. I don't think it's too hard. But Gara, even if I learn this jutsu, I don't know how I will escape them. I'm not exactly an expert on strategies. Gara smiled at him. You're not, but I am. Naruto finally understood it, and also returned a meaningful grin. Foxes and Tanuki were experts in deception, after all. Close to 6 in the morning, the Konoha ninja advanced rapidly and discreetly through the streets of the Nikko village. The morning fog was so dense that even the few villagers who were in the street were unaware of their presence. Kiba! Shikamaru called. Did you catch his smell? Hi! Naruto's smell is definitely on these streets. He's here, Kiba said, advancing through the streets riding Akamaru. Not far behind Kiba, Sakura and Kakashi exchanged glances. After more than 3 years, they would finally see Naruto. All ninjas suddenly stopped by a block of flats. Kiba sniffed the air and turned to Kakashi. The smell is more recent here. I think I found Naruto's house. Kakashi nodded slowly and turned to Hinata. Hinata, see if you can find a ninja in these apartments. Sure, the kunoichi replied. Byakugan. Hinata activated her Kekkei Genkai and noted the presence of several residents sleeping. However, on the first floor, she noticed the presence of someone with a considerable amount of chakra. I see someone on the first floor, said Hinata. Possibly Naruto-kun. Everyone was tense. Well, Team Kakashi and Asuma, let's go. Team Guy and Kurenai, get ready to fight if Naruto tries to escape, Kakashi said. Come on. The 7 ninjas jumped to the wall next to the apartment and waited for the signal. When Kakashi nodded, they all went through the various windows from the kitchen and living room, scaring a man who was sleeping on the couch. Holy crap! What the hell is going on? The man growled, preparing to fight. All members of Team Kakashi and Asuma were paralyzed, looking at the individual. It wasn't Naruto. He was a young man, about 20 years old, with straight brown hair and a monk's robes. Sakura looked at the man carefully and lowered the kunai, slowly. Sora? Sakura squealed. What the hell are you doing here? What? Shikamaru exclaimed, recognizing the monk who they had fought against 4 years ago. Sora? The monk from the fire temple? Oh. But if it's not the guys from Konoha? Hisashiburi. Sora greeted them with an overconfident grin. Yamato turned to Kakashi. Senpai, could have Kiba-kun been mistaken? Kakashi frowned. No. I can smell Naruto in the room. He has been here recently. HMPF. So you came looking for Naruto? Sora huffed, turning to sit on the couch. What bad timing. Everyone stared at him wide-eyed. Sakura came up to Sora, with her kunai ready. Sora, you know about Naruto? Where is he? The medical ninja asked, glaring. Sora returned her glare. Naruto has lived here since last year's April. I've only been here since a few days ago and found him by accident. Today, he decided to leave and asked me to return the apartment keys to the landlord. That's all I know. Leave? Asked Chuji. Where did he go? Asked Shikamaru. Huh. How should I know? He went west in direction to that forest, the monk said, pointing to the window to the woods behind the village. How long? Asked Kakashi. Oh. Sora looked at the watch. About 2 hours ago. The ninjas were immediately dispatched from the apartment, and shouted to their companions who had been outside to follow them to the forest. Naruto left 2 hours ago. Shikamaru shouted. We must hurry if we want to catch him. Kiba! I know! Come on, Akamaru! Kiba shouted, leading the ninjas and following Naruto's scent. A few miles later, as they leaped from tree to tree, Neji had a hunch and activated the Byakugan. Kiba! Neji shouted. Stop! But Kiba didn't stop in time and stepped on the trap, activating it. Thousands of strings moved by kunais went through the forest, holding the ninjas in a metal web. H! They all cried, as the ropes held them in the air. What is this? Lee said. A trap, Kakashi said. Naruto took precautions, He doesn't want to be reached. They lost nearly 15 minutes to free everybody from all metal strings and continue. This time, Hinata and Niji were in front of the group with Kiba looking for possible traps. Until they reached a cliff. They're about to go when Hinata told everyone to stop, just by a bridge. On the other side was a ninja dressed in a black cape and wearing a fox mask. His blonde hair waved in the breeze. Hinata approached the bridge, staring at the ninja. Naruto-kun. Upon hearing Naruto's name, Sakura ran to stand next to Hinata. Her green eyes were fixed on the masked ninja who remained motionless on the other side of the bridge. Naruto! Sakura shouted. Naruto lifted his head slowly and stared at them undisturbed and motionless. When Sakura tried cross bridge, Naruto motioned her to stay where she was. Sakura suddenly stopped and watched Naruto make her a sign with his hand to look down. On the bridge's floor was a white envelope. Sakura grabbed it and opened it, reading aloud the single written sentence. I'm so sorry. What? Naruto. What is? Sakura shouted, stopping when she saw Naruto throw an explosive kunai into the middle of the bridge. This kunai made hundreds of explosive tags blow up the bridge. Sakura and Hinata were thrown back with the explosion and fell near their comrades. When the smoke cleared, they noticed that the bridge had been completely destroyed. Naruto was still in the same position, on the other side of the cliff. Slowly, he turned his back. Naruto! Sakura shouted. Naruto looked at her for a second before disappearing into the forest. Shit! Shikamaru exclaimed. Naruto is determined to escape. What do we do now? Sai asked. Let me, Yamato said. Mokutan. With his wood, Yamato created a new wooden bridge. However, when it reached the other side of the cliff, more explosive tags blew it. Naruto had hidden them in the rocks, predicting that jutsu. Arg. Naruto-kun, he anticipated my moves, Yamato said. He got smarter, Kakashi said, acknowledging his students' improvements. You'll have to blow all explosive tags to create a safe bridge, Yamato. There is no other solution. It took some time before the explosive tags ran out. Naruto had placed thousands. When they finally moved, they could distinguish the ocean on the horizon and an enormous harbor filled with ships. What is? Tenten asked. It's a seaport. Naruto is going away on a ship, Ino exclaimed. We cannot let him go on board. Let us make haste, Kakashi said, and they all speeded up. When they arrived at the port, the ninjas jumped from rooftop to rooftop, looking for Naruto through the crowd who wanted to board the many ships that were moored near the port. Finally, they saw Naruto boarding a ship. There! Guy cried. Everyone ran to the ship, pushing several passengers and crew to run through. When they were mere meters from Naruto, they cornered him in a dead end. It's over, Naruto, Kakashi said. The masked ninja raised his hands and all positioned themselves for the attack. To their horror, Naruto vanished in a cloud of smoke, as well as his smell and chakra. Akage Bunshin, Kakashi said. He tricked us. Kiba, can you feel his smell? Shikamaru asked. Kiba shook his head. The smell ends here. We lost him, Niji said. Sakura looked down and clenched her fists tightly. In a ship that had just left from the port, Naruto was sitting on a bench along with other passengers near a window. Sasuke was fast asleep in his lap. When his clone disappeared, Naruto lifted his head. Everything had gone according to plan. He and Gara were premeditated. Within a day, Naruto was able to master a jutsu that was capable of removing particles of scent from any object or living being. Using the wind element, he dispersed the molecules of the scent desired. Naruto used the jutsu in his whole house and village, eliminating Sasuke's odor. He had also used the jutsu in himself and Sasuke when they left the village, so at the moment, they were both odorless. Naruto also asked the mayor to warn villagers not to mention his son's presence to the ninjas that would look for him. Papa? Sasuke asked, waking up. Good morning, Naruto greeted with a smile. It's still early, you can sleep a little. We're already on the boat? The child asked as Naruto snuggled him in his blanket. Yes. But you have time to see fishes in the sea. You can sleep. Oh. I almost forgot. Naruto opened his bag. Izumi-sensei told me to give you this. Naruto showed the paper fan that Sasuke had made in nursery school. My Uchiha! The child exclaimed, grabbing the fan. Can I have it, Papa? You can. It's all yours. Sasuke smiled and yawned, going back to sleep quickly, leaning against his father's chest. Naruto, in turn, stared at the port which disappeared over the horizon, knowing that his friends were there, looking for him. Not yet, guys. Not yet, the blonde whispered, stroking the child's back he had in his lap. As expected, the ninja turned to Nico and asked the villagers about Naruto. Sora was of little help and only said that Naruto had worked in the village to pay the bills from the apartment because he was tired of sleeping outdoors. As Naruto asked him, he did not mention anything about Sasuke. At the end of the day, Sakura was tired and fuming. After questioning a group of girls who did nothing but giggle like hyenas when she asked them details about Naruto, she was ready to punch someone. Fortunately, she managed to control herself and went to the village square, which served as a meeting point. Nobody got much information. Naruto had come to live in Nikko, he worked doing chores and went home. He was a friendly ninja, helpful and efficient. All the villagers liked him. He departed very suddenly, and gave them no explanation. It's not a coincidence, Shikamaru said. He must have known we were coming. But how did he know? Ino asked. Naruto is not a sensor that powerful. Those traps and the clone, it was all planned to mislead us, Kakashi said. He needed time. Shikamaru is right. He knew we were coming. But how? Sakura asked. Apart from us, nobody knows. Shikamaru scratched his head. I told Temari, Shikamaru confessed. She must have informed Gara. Did Gara-kun tell the Hokage? Lee said. I don't think so. I told Temari weeks ago. If Gara had warned the Hokage, she would have stopped us. So how does Naruto know? Sakura asked. I have no idea. Shikamaru confessed. Kakashi approached them. Regardless of how he discovered, I am sure for one thing, said Kakashi with a serious expression. Naruto is not just traveling, he is hiding from the ninja world. Eh? Everyone gasped. Kakashi! Why do you say that? Guy asked. Naruto worked very hard to escape. He didn't want to be caught or go back to Konoha. He is hiding something from us, something that I imagine to be so severe that he can't reveal it even to his closest friends. Something must have happened during his fight against Sasuke. It was since then that he began to flee. Sakura stared at her sensei and gasped. What kind of secret would Naruto try to hide so desperately? Chapter 21, Revelation. A year and 4 months later. April 4th. With 4 years and 8 months old, Sasuke was no baby. He remembered vaguely living with his father in a village by the sea when he was 3. Now, they lived in another village near a mountain, but they had stopped in many other places. His Tuchan had told him they had to travel so he could get a job, and that was why they were always moving. But Sasuke didn't mind. He had already been to many places that most kids only had heard of, such as beaches, deserts, rivers, and oceans. In his childish self-centeredness, Sasuke had no idea what his Tuchan job was, and wasn't very interested in finding out. All he knew was that his father went to work in the morning, so he had to leave him in kindergarten, and had pick him up in the afternoon. However, sometimes, his daddy could not come to get him, and Sasuke had to go to Mrs. Ireno's home, who was the mom of one of his classmates, Ireno Rio. Rio was the first friend that Sasuke made when he went to kindergarten. On the first day, Rio asked Sasuke if he wanted to go play with him and his friends. After that, he began to play together with the other boys too, Daichi, Junpei, Akito, and Kenji. They used to play catch, hide and seek, go to the swings and slide. They also played samurais and ninjas sometimes. Since his father had told him a story about ninjas, Sasuke had been amazed by these warriors. Ninjas were strong, agile, and discreet. They seemed so cool and powerful in the storybooks and mangas that its Two-chan had bought. After leaving the kindergarten, Ryo's mother and other ladies took them to the playground, so they could play. The 6 boys enjoyed themselves, but Kenji was strangely bad-tempered. He did not accept any of the other children games, and when he lost, he pouted. When we're playing catch, the ball flew away and ran Sasuke to pick it up. He then noticed that one kid was sitting a swing away from them. Sasuke picked up the ball and stared at the boy, who should be more or less his age, but he was all dirty and his clothes were torn. The boy stared at Sasuke with a haughty expression, and Sasuke merely grabbed the ball and returned to his classmates. "Nuh?" Sasuke asked. "Who's that kid over there in the swing?" The other boys noticed the ragged boy. "Nobody knows his name," Ryo said. "He doesn't live in the village. He just comes and goes all the time." "He can walk around alone?" Sasuke asked, uncomprehending. "He's an orphan," Kenji said with contempt. "He can do whatever he wants." "What's an orphan?" Junpei asked. "It's a kid who has no parents. Probably he was so ugly at birth that his mother threw him in the garbage," Kenji said, with a cruel smile. "Ryo!" Mrs. Irino called. "We gotta go. Sasuke-chan, you'll stay in our home until your father comes to get you." The 2 boys said goodbye to their friends, and each one held Mrs. Irino's hand. But before leaving the park, Sasuke took one last look at the orphaned boy, who stared at him with envy. In Ryo's home, the 2 boys were playing in the living room with various toys. Ryo's younger brother, Hisao, was only 2 years old and liked to play with his stuffed elephant with them. Ryo was constantly saying that he thought Hisao was annoying. He wanted to imitate him in everything and was always following him everywhere. However, Sasuke remembered that when Hisao fell down the stairs, Ryo started to cry because he thought his brother had died. "Ni-chan! Elephant!" Hisao squealed, displaying the soft toy. Ryo snorted angrily. "I know, Hisao. You showed that to me 1,000,000 times. Elephant. My. Good, now go away," Ryo ordered, wanting to play with his toys in peace. "Go play with Mama." "No! Ni-chan! Want Ni-chan!" "But I don't want you! Go away!" Ryo shouted. Hisao began to cry, clinging to his toy, and ran into the hallway. Ryo snorted and continued to play with his toys. "Cry baby," Ryo muttered between his teeth. Sasuke, meanwhile, felt sorry for Hisao. He just wanted his Ni-san to play with him, and Ryo had sent him away. "Ryo?" Sasuke asked. "You don't like Hisao?" "Huh! Hisao is a big baby. He is always nagging me." "So, you don't like him?" Ryo looked down and pouted. "It's not that I don't like him. I just don't like that he's always bugging me to play with him." "I think Hisao wants to play with you because he likes you," Sasuke said. Ryo looked at the living room door with a sad expression. Finally, he got up and went to his younger brother's room, where he was sitting whimpering. Ryo approached him and gave him a hand. "Okay, you can play with us, but you can't scream or cry," Ryo said, pulling his brother back to the living room. Hisao smiled and grabbed his elephant, sitting next to his Ni-chan and Sasuke. After some time, Ryo and Hisao's grandmother joined them in the living room, sitting in a rocking chair and knitting a sweater for her youngest grandchild. "Oba-san?" Ryo asked. "When will Two-san come home?" He should be back to dinner," the old lady replied. "Oh, so he'll be tired again," Ryo whined. "Whenever Two-san works, he never plays with me." Sasuke stared at his companion. "My Two-chan said he would play with me when he came from work," the raven said. "Oh? He won't play with you," Ryo said. "When adults come home from work, they just want kids to leave them alone." "Ryo," his grandma intervened. "Adults work all day so that children can eat and have a house to live in. When they come home, they deserve to rest." I know, Ryo replied, pouting. Ka-san and Two-san are always saying that. "Two-chan promised he would play with me," Sasuke insisted. "He always keeps his promises." A few minutes later, someone rang the doorbell. Mrs. Irino opened the door quickly, shouting joyfully, Oh, Naruto-san. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Irino-san, Naruto greeted with a kind smile. Work went well? I knew you have been receiving many requests lately. Everything is going great. I hope that the villagers are happy with my work. Everybody feels much safer since Naruto-san came to our village, Mrs. Irino said. Just yesterday my sister told me how you helped to carry their heavy furniture to the attic. They were very impressed. Naruto grinned and scratched his neck, a little flushed. He would never get used to compliments after being so criticized and denigrated in his youth. Really? It wasn't anything special. In the living room, Sasuke heard his father's voice. The child got up and ran to the lobby. "To-chan!" Sasuke shouted joyfully, hugging his father's waist. "Okarinasai, To-chan!" "Hey!" Naruto exclaimed and took Sasuke in his arms. "How's my boy? Did you behave?" "Ha ha!" Sasuke nodded, clinging to Naruto's shoulders. "Let's play, To-chan? What are we going to play?" "Sasuke-chan," Mrs. Irino interrupted. "Your father must be tired. He worked all day and needs rest." Sasuke looked at her before looking down, very disappointed. Ryo had been right after all. Before the disappointed look in his son's eyes, Naruto smiled indulgently. "I said I would play with you. And I never go back on my word," Naruto said, making Sasuke his open eyes with astonishment and joy. "Really?" the child asked. "Of course. We can play whatever you want." Shortly afterwards, Sasuke hid himself behind a tree, covering his mouth to smother his laughter. They were playing hide and seek in the forest around the village, and he could hear his father trying to find him. I think Sasuke hid too well," Naruto said. "Maybe he's that way." Naruto moved to the opposite side of where Sasuke was hiding. The boy leaned against the tree, hearing the sound of his father's footsteps moving away. Laughing between his teeth, Sasuke peered through the trunk. The coast was clear. He was about to change his hiding place when he felt a hand on his head, making him flinch. "I found you, Sasuke," Naruto said with a sly smile as he turned to Sasuke. "Oh, you found me?" Naruto giggled and patted his hair. "I always find you," Naruto said and began to tickle Sasuke. Sasuke tried to escape from his To-chan's hands, and threw himself against him. The two fought on the floor, rolling in the grass, shouting and waving. Sasuke also tried to tickle Naruto, and the latter responded by grabbing him by the armpits and lifted him into the air. The child opened his arms and laughed with satisfaction. The setting sun lit the mountains of red. Naruto got up from the ground, completely dirty with earth and grass. Sasuke was also filthy and exhausted, but seemed happier than ever sitting on the floor, smiling. "It's getting late," Naruto said. "It's best to go home." "Oh, we have to. I want to play more," Sasuke said, but his stomach conveniently chose that moment to growl with hunger. Sasuke blushed and Naruto laughed. "You're all dirty and starving. What you need is a good bath and dinner." Naruto handed his hand. "We can always play later. Let's go home." Sasuke had so much fun that he didn't want to go home, but he was really hungry. The child nodded, grabbed Naruto's hand and stood up. Hand in hand, father and son moved through the almost deserted streets of village. Beside them, a stream went down the hill, before flowing into a lake. Their waters shone, irradiating white and orange reflections. Naruto remembered the many times he came home at sunset alone. His heart ached whenever he watched his colleagues in the academy return home with their parents, while Naruto had to return to an empty house where there was nobody to talk to force him to eat healthy foods or bathing. Often he fell asleep crying, wishing fervently that his parents were there with him. When Sasuke also became an orphan, he passed by him almost every day when he came home from the playground. Sasuke never played with anyone, he just sat by the river. When both their eyes crossed, they pouted and Naruto went on his way. They never talked to each other. At that moment, Sasuke walked cheerfully through the streets, talking about what he had done in kindergarten and what he wanted to eat for dinner. The child looked at Naruto with a big smile and Naruto smiled back, holding his hand tighter. They were returning home together as a family. The family that Sasuke had lost and the family Naruto had longed for all his life. Neither of them was alone anymore. April 5th. The 4-year-old sensei was a lady named Mayura. She was married to one of the village doctors. She had a 3-year-old daughter named Masumi, and she was 8 months pregnant. Mayura sensei had been outside the village for 5 months because she had had to take care of her ailing mother, who lived in another village. When she entered the classroom with her huge belly, the children cried in admiration. "Sensei, you are so fat. How did you become so big, Sensei?" Mayura smiled and her students sat in a chair in front of them, massaging her belly affectionately. "I'm not fat, children," she explained. "I'm having a baby." Children approached their sensei and stared at her huge belly in disbelief. "Is there a baby?" Mayura nodded. "Yes. My baby is here, inside my belly." "Sensei, where do babies come from? How are they born?" one boy asked. Sasuke also approached the other children and sat on the floor like them. "Ah, well," Mayura sensei tried to explain. "Babies are born from their mama's tummy." "Eh? Babies come from the belly? How do they get in there?" "Well, Papa puts a seed inside Mama's tummy. This seed grows in her belly and, after several months, a baby is born." While the children exclaimed with admiration, Sasuke was very quiet. He didn't have a mother, he never had. His whole life was just him and his father. He never thought about his mother. He thought there was none. But if babies are born from their mommy's belly, where was his? Since babies come from their parents, they look like them. They may have the same eyes or even the same hair or nose, Mayura said. "Why don't you kids draw your family? That way, you can see how you are alike." "Hi, Sensei," the children answered, picking up the crayons and started drawing. Kenji didn't want to draw. He hated having to think about parents or families. His father had left home to buy cigarettes and disappeared. His mother had been very worried and had him searched everywhere but without success. Everyone thought his father had been kidnapped, had an accident or died. 2 days ago they had finally found him. He fled with his pregnant lover and made a new family, abandoning Kenji and his mother. Since he discovered the truth, Kenji hated to see the other kids happy with their parents. It wasn't fair that their parents loved them while his father had abandoned him. Rising from his seat, Kenji peeked on his classmates' drawings. Sasuke was about to finish his drawing. He had drawn his Tuchan and himself playing in the forest, until he felt a presence behind him. "Why are you drawing?" a voice asked. Sasuke turned and saw Kenji, smiling with scorn. "What?" Sasuke asked, confused. Kenji looked at the drawing filled with hatred. The damn ninja's son had always his dear father with him. Kenji hated them and their happiness. "You can't draw a family. You don't have one," Kenji said. What do you mean?" Sasuke replied. "Of course I have. I have my father." "Are you stupid? You don't look anything like Naruto-san. You are totally different." Kenji spat the words like they were poison. "You're adopted." Sasuke opened his eyes wide. "Adopted? What does that mean?" "It means your father is not really your father. Your real parents threw you out or Naruto-san stole you from them. Naruto-san is not your father." Sasuke felt his heart beat faster and his throat dry. "That's not true!" Sasuke shouted, not wanting to believe it. "You're lying." "So where is your mother?" Kenji asked, smiling before the shocked expression on Sasuke's face. "You have no mother. You're an orphan. Your real parents hated you and dumped you." "Shut up!" Sasuke growled, throwing himself against Kenji. The two boys began fighting fiercely against each other, punching, kicking and biting until Mayura-sensei finally got them apart. Naruto was surprised when a woman informed him that Sasuke had been sent home because he had been in a fight with another boy. Sasuke had always been so calm that Naruto could not imagine what would have happened. The blonde ninja rushed to finish the mission and returned home. Next to his apartment was one of the employees from the kindergarten with Sasuke. The boy was leaning against the wall, staring at the ground with a furious expression. Naruto thanked the employee for having brought Sasuke and said goodbye to her. After opening the apartment door and into the house, Naruto asked Sasuke, "Sasuke, why did you fight with one of your classmates?" Naruto asked, but Sasuke was still staring at his feet. "What happened?" Sasuke raised his face and glared Naruto in the eye, causing the blonde to recall the glare full of hatred that he saw in Uchiha Sasuke's. "I'm adopted?" Sasuke asked ferociously. Naruto's eyes widened with shock. "Sasuke, what? I'm not like you. You're blonde and have blue eyes. I have black hair and black eyes." Sasuke exclaimed, "We're nothing alike." "Nothing." Naruto remained silent. He did not know what to say. "Why don't I have a Ka-chan like everyone else? Where is she?" A baby comes from the mother's belly. Where's my mother?" Sasuke continued, feeling the tears behind his eyes. "Was I adopted? Was I born to other parents?" Sasuke stared at Naruto intensely, hoping that the latter would contradict him. He didn't want it to be true. Please, it could not be true. Naruto had to control himself not to shiver. He always knew this day would come, but he wasn't ready. He didn't know how to explain everything to Sasuke, but he knew he could not lie to him. Sasuke deserved to know. "Was I adopted?" Sasuke asked again, his eyes shining in anticipation and nervousness. Clenching his fists tightly, Naruto replied, "Yes, you were." Sasuke's dark eyes widened with shock and horror. He felt like the floor was crumbling beneath him. The child began to back away, shaking his head. No. Sasuke, it's not that simple. Let me explain." But Sasuke continued to move away from Naruto. "You lied to me." The child was confused, angry and sad. He knew nothing now. The family he had was a lie. "You're a liar! You're a damn liar!" Sasuke yelled. "Sasuke! Don't be mean!" Naruto exclaimed. "Mean? You lied to me. You're the one who's mean." Naruto grabbed the boy's arm, but Sasuke walked away filled with anger. "Don't touch me!" Sasuke growled, tears running down his face. "Sasuke! Shut up! I hate you! You're not my real father!" The child cried and ran to his room, slamming the door hard. Naruto ran a hand through his eyes and sighed deeply. He approached Sasuke's door and almost knocked, but gave up. Maybe Sasuke needed some space. It was best to leave him alone a bit, at least until he calmed down. Naruto went to the living room, sat on the couch and buried his face in his hands. Remembering the last words Sasuke said, he wept in silence. Sasuke jumped into his bed and wept. He no longer knew who he was. It was as if his whole world had fallen apart. His Two-chan was not his father. He would never be like him. That hurt him so much that he thought his heart would explode. And where were his real parents? Was he like them? How did they look like? Why did they leave him? Why? Why had this happened? Sasuke wished that nothing had happened. He hated Kenji. He hated his parents for leaving him. He hated Naruto for having lied and pretended that he was his father. He hated Naruto for not being his real father. When Sasuke turned to look up at the clock on the bedside table, he realized he had fallen asleep. Outside it was very dark. Sasuke got out of bed and opened the bedroom door into the hallway. The house was completely silent and Naruto could not be seen anywhere. The young raven went to the front door and turned the knob, opening it up. Glancing at the empty corridor, Sasuke clenched his fists tightly and left the apartment. The child ran down the stairs and out into the deserted street. He had to find his real parents. Chapter 22, Hell Night. Sasuke ran through the streets of the village, looking at everything and everyone. After running for several blocks, he eventually slowed down and stopped at a tree, panting. The streets were practically deserted because it was so late. Sasuke was all sweaty and hadn't brought a jacket, so he started to shiver. When he ran away from home, Sasuke was convinced he would find his real parents. But now, he no longer thought it was so easy. He had no idea where they were or how to find them. The boy started to walk down the streets, hugging himself with cold. A drunken man passed by him and pushed him against the wall, giving the boy a look full of anger and contempt. "Watch where you're going, kid!" the drunk muttered. Sasuke looked at him. He had dark brown hair and black eyes, his clothes were soiled with food and wine stains, and the man smelled awful. He could not be his real father. Sasuke moved away from the man and continued to walk. After what seemed like an eternity, Sasuke began to feel scared. He did not know these streets. There were more people there, but they looked scary. Several men came from inside abandoned houses laughing, staggering and embracing women who were almost naked. The adults looked at Sasuke as if he were an insect in a soup. He wasn't welcome there. Increasingly alarmed, the child began to walk faster. Men and women began to call him and mocking him. "Look, a lost kid. Come here, brat. You lost your mama, little baby? I think I slept with her last night. It's official. Clients are getting younger and younger. Come here, sweetie, I'll kiss you like your mother never did." Sasuke started running to get away from those strange and frightening people. When he looked back to see if they had followed him, he bumped against someone and fell to the ground. "Oh dear. You okay, honey?" asked a lady's voice. Sasuke looked forward. It was a very pretty lady. She was dressed in a white kimono with red and yellow flowers. Her skin was pale and perfect, with red lips, black hair and black eyes. She was a lot like Sasuke. The lady extended her hand to grab his and helped him get up. "Are you okay, dear?" she asked again. "Ah, yes. Thanks," Sasuke replied, unable to take his eyes off her. She smiled at him. "Thank goodness. What are you doing here alone in the street?" She looked so pretty and nice. Maybe she was his real mom. "Mississippi. Are you my mama?" Sasuke asked. The woman blinked with surprise, but pulled herself together in time and smiled at him seductively. She always had a knack for enchanting children with her smile. "I may have forgotten that I had lost a son," the young woman said. "A child as beautiful as you could really be my son. Come with me, my baby. Let's talk and then we can eat candy." The woman grabbed Sasuke's little hand and pushed him inside a house. Sasuke followed her with delight. He had met his real mom. And she was so beautiful and kind. She was perfect. The house where they entered was full of red carpets and chairs. Several women with kimonos ran past them laughing, with one or two men chasing them. A fat old man was lying on a couch with a woman, kissing her mouth and neck and stroking her ass. A strange and smelly smoke wafted in the air, leading the men's cigarettes that laughed and yelled dirty words as they spoke to each other. A woman grabbed a bottle of sake and began dancing in a man's lap with no pants on. Sasuke had never seen anything like this. It would be a party just for adults. Was his real daddy there too? A woman with a breast out of her kimono bumped up against them and burst out laughing. She smelled like alcohol and cigarettes. "Oh. Sorry, Cho," the woman said, with an inebriated smile. Her eyes focused on Sasuke. "And what have we here?" "This little boy wants a mama," Cho said. "I think he should join our family." "Oh, yes. He should fit perfectly," the drunken woman said with a smile that made Sasuke want to hide from view. "Show him to the guys. They'll love him." Cho nodded and pushed Sasuke into a room where several men and two women were playing cards and drinking sake. "Good night, guys," Cho greeted. "Look what I found lost in the street." Everyone turned and stared at Sasuke. The expressions of surprise became greedy smiles. One of the men approached Cho and Sasuke. Well. I see you found another stray puppy," the man said, looking Sasuke up and down with a pleased smile. "This one is cute. Our customers will be satisfied." Sasuke didn't like the way how the man looked at him and tried to hide behind Cho, but she pulled his arm strongly and forced him to stare at the man. "Who are you?" the child asked, shivering when the man smiled, revealing black teeth because of the cigarettes he smoked and a golden tooth. "You can call me Chero-san," the man said. "I am the owner of this house, little buddy. You want to stay with us? We'll get you many special friends." Everyone laughed and Sasuke tried to back away, but Cho grabbed him with even more strength. The child began to tremble, and he felt tears build up behind his eyes. Chero found the frightened look in the kid's eyes very amusing. Each one was afraid, but they all ended up getting used to it. He laughed when he touched the boy's face, and he shook it like he'd been given a shock. "Do you like pampering, puppy?" Chero asked, smiling devilishly. "Many of my friends love to fondle pretty boys like you." Sasuke wanted to walk away from that house. Those people were evil and scared him. He wished he had not left his house. He just wished it was all a dream and he was right in his room, sleeping. "No, thank you. I want to go home now," Sasuke said. He tried to flee, but Cho stuck her nails in his arm and forced him to stay where he was. "No, no, no," puppy, Chero mocked. "This is your new home now." Sasuke looked at Cho, hoping she would help and defend him. To his horror, Cho smiled as malevolently as Chero. She no longer seemed pretty or nice. She looked like a wicked witch. "Come on, baby. Didn't you say you wanted me to be your mama? You are going to help mama make lots of money." It was then that Sasuke knew that woman was not his mother. She was mean. The child tried to escape again, grabbing Cho's arm for her to let go. "You're not my mommy!" Sasuke shouted, with tears running down his face. "Let me go home. Get off me. I'm gonna tell Tuchan." In response, Cho gave him a snap in the face. Sasuke grabbed his wounded cheek and cried in pain. "Shut up, you fucking bastard! You're ours now!" Cho squealed with anger and contempt. "You will have many new daddies now. Daddies who will love playing with you." Desperate to escape, Sasuke bit her arm. Cho released him and cried like a raging monster. "He bit me! That fucking brat bit me!" As soon as Cho dropped him, Sasuke ran out the door, escaping from the arms that tried to grab him. "Get him! Catch that kid!" Sasuke left the house and ran down the street as fast as he could. Behind him, he could hear men chasing him. "Kill him! He heard too much! Kill him!" He was gonna die. Sasuke was gonna die. Those evil men were going to catch him and kill him. All we wanted now was that his daddy was there. He wanted to be home with him and never have run away. "Tuchan! Tuchan!" Sasuke shouted in despair. "Help me, Tuchan! They're gonna kill me! Tuchan!" The child saw an abandoned house and ran inside it to hide from his pursuers. The house was made of wood and stones and was practically falling apart. Even so, Sasuke climbed the decayed stairs up to the upper floors of the building. When the stairs ended at the attic, Sasuke hid behind a table, huddling against the dirty wall, weeping and trembling. "Please don't find me. Please. I don't want to die. I don't want to die," the young child thought, trying to muffle his cries. "Papa. I want Papa." Outside the abandoned building, the men smiled at their luck. If they killed the kid, it would be difficult to hide the body. When one of the men arrived with a bottle of petrol, they drenched walls of the house and threw a match. In seconds, the downstairs was in flames. "Perfect. The building is freaking old. A small accident, and the kid dies tragically," one man said. Not wanting to be caught on the scene, the men disappeared. The kid had no way of escaping the burning building. Sasuke smelled the smoke but did not move. He expected to hear the bad men climbing up the stairs, but they hadn't yet appeared. Slowly, he peered across the table and saw an orange flash and black smoke out the window. Trembling, the child ran to the window and looked down. The building was on fire, and he was trapped inside. Naruto woke up lying on the couch in the living room. Stretching, the young blonde stood up and yawned. Realizing that the house was dark, Naruto looked at the clock on the living room wall and realized he had slept for hours. Turning the lights on in the living room and hallway, Naruto went to Sasuke's room, hoping that he was calmer. If the boy was sleeping, the best would be to talk with him the next day. All Naruto wanted was that he hadn't created an abyss between them that might never be surpassed. The ninja didn't want things to change, not after the two of them finally becoming a real family, but there was no other solution. If he lied to Sasuke, when he eventually learned the truth, he would hate Naruto even more. Naruto stopped when he noticed that the front door was open. To his dismay, Sasuke's room also had the door open. Naruto ran to the boy's bedroom and looked inside. It was empty. The ninja also called for Sasuke and checked the other rooms of the apartment, but the child wasn't there. Naruto's dread became a reality. Sasuke had run away from home. Naruto left the house running and jumped from rooftop to rooftop, looking for the boy in the streets. Sasuke, where are you? Please be safe. Naruto thought, filled with concern. Since he could not see Sasuke anywhere, Naruto stopped and entered Sage mode. Sasuke's chakra was so low that he could barely feel it, but was still in the village. Naruto jumped onto the street and moved quickly. After several blocks without finding a single clue, the ninja stopped to focus again on Sasuke's chakra. I know you, a little voice murmured. Naruto turned towards the voice. A street kid was sitting on a wooden box in a dark corner. You're the ninja, the orphan said. You're the father of that kid with spiky black hair. Naruto approached the boy. Yes, I am. Have you seen that boy? Naruto asked anxiously. He was talking to the ladies who like to kiss men for money, the kid said without any emotion. After that, he fled from the men who work with them. These men like to take kids to their houses. They like touching them. Naruto felt his insides turn into ice. He had to control himself not to grab the boy and force him to tell him everything he knew. Where did he run to from these men? Have you seen him? The boy pointed to a street. Thanks. Naruto picked up a paper and wrote a message in a hurry. Take this paper to the police, please. I can't let these men to go free. The kid nodded. I know. I want them to die, too, the boy said coldly, but with fury in his eyes. My mother worked with them. They killed her when she tried to escape with me. Without another word, the kid ran down the street and disappeared. Naruto also began to run, until he saw a group of men moving merrily in his direction, carrying knives and bats. When men noticed Naruto, they stopped and waved their weapons. Who the hell are you? One asked. This is our territory. If you want to live, you better pay. Naruto remained silent, staring intensely at the weapons. None of them had blood stains. Hey! You heard me, bastard! Give us your money or we… The man had no time to finish the sentence. Naruto threw himself against the other men, putting them senseless with a blow. The man who had spoken with him found himself pushed against a wall, with Naruto holding him by the collar and a kunai pressed against his throat. Speak! Naruto commanded, pressing the kunai against the man's jugular. The boy you were chasing. Where is he? I do not know what you're talking about. We did not see anyone. Naruto cut a little skin in the man's neck with the kunai. The man's eyes widened in fear when Naruto's pupils became slits and his irises turned red. Do not lie to me, asshole. What did you to the kid? Where is he? Naruto growled. Dare to lie to me in prison will seem like a paradise compared to what I'll do to you. Where is he? The man began to tremble with fear and pointed to the street he came from. There, the abandoned mansion. Naruto gave him a punch and the man collapsed. Naruto threw him into the ditch and ran toward the abandoned mansion. When he saw the orange glow and smoke rising up in the sky, Naruto ran even faster. Half the building was on fire. Sasuke! Naruto shouted in front of the burning house. The inside of the house was falling apart. Wasting no time, Naruto ran into the blazing house. Sasuke could see the flames cornering the room where he was. The heat and smoke were unbearable, and the child lay on the floor coughing. It was the end. He was going to die. With a bang, the door's room flew against the wall and Sasuke distinguished a pair of legs, moving around the room. When Sasuke coughed again, the person turned and moved towards him. Shortly after, Sasuke felt a pair of hands grabbing him and an unknown person took him in his arms. Sasuke! You okay? Recognizing the voice, Sasuke's onyx eyes widened in amazement. Two-chan? The child asked in disbelief. Naruto pressed Sasuke against his chest and came down the practically destroyed stairs. Sasuke could not believe it. Naruto had come to bring him back. After all that Sasuke said, he had come looking for him. Don't worry, Sasuke. I'll take you out of here, Naruto said, trying to deviate from the flames and debris that were constantly falling over them. When he was about to reach the front door, Naruto got his foot stuck between two rocks. No matter how much he tried, he could not free himself. Above them, a part of the roof broke. Naruto bent, protecting Sasuke, when burned wood, stones and other debris fell on them. Arg! Naruto groaned, feeling a sharp pain. A metal chunk had pierced his back. A trickle of blood fell down his mouth. The building was going to crumble in seconds and Naruto could not free his foot. Realizing that there was only one solution, Naruto pushed Sasuke away from him and threw him out of the building with all the strength he had. Sasuke fell on the dirt floor and skinned his arms and legs. Wincing in pain, the boy turned to the burning building, hoping that Naruto would come out behind him. However, he did not. Before Sasuke's horrified eyes, the building collapsed with a big bang. Tyu-chan! After the cloud of smoke dissipated, Sasuke stared that the remains of the burning building were just rocks and burnt wood. Ignoring his own wounds, Sasuke ran towards the wreckage. Tyu-chan! The child cried at what remained of the building. Tyu-chan! Tyu-chan! Except the sound of wind and fire, Sasuke did not hear anything. Papa! Trembling with fear, the boy tried to remove the stones and wooden chunks, but these were very heavy. Shortly thereafter, he felt two hands grab him and pull him away from the building. Sasuke tried to free himself from those who held him. He had to save his daddy. Calm down, boy. We'll take it from here, one man, who Sasuke didn't know, said. Sasuke realized the presence of several men running towards the wreckage and removed them from the path. Several villagers had seen what had happened and had come to save Naruto. Leave this to us, the man reassured him. We will find him. Sasuke looked back at the building's ruins. Tears ran down his cheeks as he watched the villagers in search of Naruto. It's my fault, sobbed the boy. It's my fault. Please don't die. One man screamed and everyone came to him. Sasuke stretched his neck in an attempt to see as well. Bring a gurney, yelled one man. The group of villagers moved away to let three men, who carried the immobile body of Uzumaki Naruto, pass and laid him on a gurney. Sasuke let go of the arms of the man who was holding him and ran. Papa! Papa! Sasuke yelled, approaching Naruto. When they saw him, the men stopped Sasuke and covered Naruto with their bodies. Don't look, boy, one man yelled. Sasuke could only see one hand and the abdomen of Naruto. There was blood everywhere. Is he dead? Is he dead? Sasuke asked, panic-stricken. He's still alive. But you better not look, boy. There's nothing you can do for him. Even so, Sasuke tried to pass by the men. He had to be with his dad, which was the only thing that mattered. Someone came, grabbed Sasuke and took him away from Naruto, despite his cries. Several men grabbed on a gurney and transported the blonde ninja to the hospital. The man holding Sasuke followed them with the little boy always shouting, demanding to let him go to Naruto. When they reached the hospital, Naruto was immediately taken to an operating room while Sasuke was handed to a nurse to treat his skinned arms and legs. The boy was already exhausted from shouting and let her disinfect his wounds, crying softly. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's all my fault, the child whimpered. Why it is your fault, honey? The nurse asked. Why were you in that abandoned mansion at this time of night? I ran away. Sasuke pleaded, wanting to vent to reduce the overwhelming feeling of despair and guilt he felt. I ran away from home. Why? Did your father hit you? Did he yell at you? No. I asked if I was adopted and he said yes. I said I hated him. Sasuke felt overwhelmed by remorse. I ran away from home, to find my real parents, but I couldn't find them. Then, those bad men came and wanted to kill me. I was stuck in the old house because it started burning and my Tyu-chan, he came to save me and now. Sasuke could not speak more and began to sob and bawl. After saying what he had done, he felt even worse. The nurse tried to calm him down but to no avail. The boy cried to exhaustion. Is he gonna die? My papa? Sasuke asked when he managed to stop sobbing. The nurse smiled at him sadly. The doctors are doing everything they can to save him. You have to wait until he leaves the operating room, okay? Sasuke asked her to take him to the operating room, but the nurse said he could not enter. Instead, she led him into the hall and sat on a bench with Sasuke, next to the room where Naruto was being operated. Sasuke got up from the bench, walked to the door of the operating room and went to sit on the bench again. After a while, he got up, walked a little and went back to sit. He just couldn't stand still, he was too nervous. The nurse, who was with him, had to leave and was replaced by another one. When she asked him if he wanted a glass of water, Sasuke nodded. "I'll be right back," the nurse said. "Don't go anywhere." When the nurse left the hall, Sasuke rose from the bench and stood in front of the operation room, staring at the red light above the door. "I believe. What a horrible thing," said a woman's voice. "But it's true. Naruto-san could barely save him in time," another woman said. Sasuke turned away from the door of the operating room and walked towards the voices. Two nurses were chatting in a lounge and drinking coffee. Sasuke leaned against the door and stood listening to them. "I understand that the boy ran away from home because he discovered he was adopted. Is it true? Apparently, poor Naruto-san had to look for him and ended up in this state. But it was expected that something like this would happen with that child." "What do you mean?" "I don't understand how anyone can adopt a child. I don't agree. How can anyone trust and love a child who is not from their blood? Who knows who his biological parents were? They may have been murderers, drug addicts, or thieves. But the child is not guilty of its parents' crimes. It's in the blood. Soiled blood. Despite all the love that the adoptive parents give them, the adopted children will never love them as much as their biological parents. Even if the biological parents neglected them, these children would leave their adoptive parents without thinking twice to be with their biological parents. They don't give a damn about their adoptive parents' feelings." Sasuke felt his lip trembling. "It's not always like that." "Of course it is. For the adoptees, the adoptive parents are just a temporary home where they have to live until they can return to their real family. That's exactly what happened tonight. And now Naruto-san is paying the price for having loved a child who, sooner or later, would reject him." Sasuke let himself slip through the door to sit on the floor. His heart was torn by grief. If Naruto-san survives, the best thing to do would be to return that kid to where he found him. The child got up and ran down the hall. When he got to the bench, he laid down, hugging himself. "Sasuke," a voice called. Sasuke looked up and saw Naruto in front of him. The blonde held his hand and helped the boy get up. Then, they started to move through the white corridors of the hospital. "Where are we going?" Sasuke asked. "I'll take you to your real parents," Naruto replied without staring. Before Sasuke noticed, they were moving through a street full of houses. Not a sound was heard beyond their footsteps in the gravel. "Here," Naruto said, stopping in front of a big mansion. The door of the mansion opened and two people got out, a man and a woman. Sasuke's real parents. With a cry of joy, the child let go of Naruto's hand and ran into his mother's arms, who hugged and kissed him. His father placed a hand on his shoulder and pushed him into the house. Sasuke's mother took him to his room. It was huge and was filled with toys. "This is all mine?" the boy asked. "It's all yours, dear," his mother said with a smile. Sasuke grabbed a toy and immediately began playing. He enjoyed himself so much that he didn't even realize when it became nighttime. "Sasuke!" his mother called. "Come to dinner!" Sasuke ran to the kitchen and sat at the table. His mother stood by the stove while his father read the newspaper. When his mother put the dishes on the table and they all exclaimed "Itachi-masa" at the same time, Sasuke remembered that Naruto had stayed outside. The child got up from the table in order to fetch him. "Where are you going, Sasuke?" his mother asked. "I'm going to get Tuchan. He's outside," the boy said. "Why?" his mother replied. "You've got us." "I know. But he is no longer needed," his father interrupted. "I'm your real father. Forget him." Sasuke looked at his real parents and the entrance door. He felt as if they were pulling him in opposite directions. He wanted to know his real father, but he didn't want to forget about Naruto. I'll just ask him if he wants to eat dinner with us, Sasuke said, running towards the front door. Sasuke! His parents cried at the same time. Sasuke opened the front door and ran outside. "Tu-chan!" the child cried. However, the street was deserted. Sasuke tried to find Naruto, but he wasn't anywhere. "Tu-chan?" Before the empty street, Sasuke realized the truth. Naruto was gone. Papa? Naruto had left because he had been replaced. Sasuke didn't even get to say goodbye to him. He just ran to his real parents and had forgotten about him all afternoon. And now Naruto was gone. "Papa, come back." Sasuke's real father grabbed him by the shoulders and pushed him into the house. "I told you to forget him," his father said. The front door was shut in front of Sasuke's face. "You don't need him anymore." Sasuke woke startled and with his heart pounding. It took several seconds to realize that he had been dreaming while he was asleep on the bench. Someone, most likely the nurse who had been watching over him, had covered him with a blanket. Sasuke looked back at the door of the operating room, noticing that the red light was off. The operation had ended. "Oh, you're already up?" the nurse asked, appearing behind him. "You were sleeping so soundly that I thought I'd better let you rest." "The operation?" Sasuke asked. The nurse knelt down next to Sasuke. "Everything went well," she said with a smile. "Naruto-san is a very strong and courageous man. He's in his room now. Do you want to go to him?" Sasuke nodded slowly and held the nurse's hand, who took him to another area of the hospital. Finally, they stopped near a door, and she opened it quietly, pointing Sasuke to go in. "Try not to make too much noise, okay? He needs rest," the nurse asked, closing the door and leaving. Sasuke looked at the room and moved forward. Naruto was lying in bed next to a window. As Sasuke walked in his direction, he realized that Naruto was covered in bandages in his hands and neck. He also had a bandage on his right cheek. Remembering what the nurses had said, Sasuke stopped. He felt confused, sad, angry, and terrified all at the same time. He didn't know what to think and was afraid of what would happen to him now. If Naruto-san survives, the best thing to do would be to return that kid to where he found him. Sasuke didn't know what to do. "Sasuke." The black-haired boy stared at the bed with wide eyes. Naruto had awoken and was watching him with his gentle blue eyes. Sasuke felt an enormous desire to jump into the bed and hug him, but he kept quiet. Things had changed and he didn't feel he had the right to run into Naruto's arms and call him Tu-chan as he always had done. He was afraid of rejection. If his real parents didn't want him, why would Naruto be with him? Obviously he would get rid of him after he nearly died. Seeing that Sasuke would not come and didn't face him, Naruto decided to call him. "Sasuke, come here," said Naruto, with a caring smile. "Please." A little nervous, Sasuke moved towards Naruto. "Your wounds, do they hurt?" Naruto asked, noticing the bandages around the boy's arms and legs. Sasuke shook his head but did not speak. Sighing deeply, Naruto leaned against the cushions. He didn't know what to do, or how to mend the gap that had created between them. "When?" Sasuke asked. Naruto blinked surprised. "When what?" Sasuke looked away and grabbed his pants with his hands. "When are you going to send me away?" "Send you away? You want to leave?" Sasuke turned to stare at Naruto with an intense gaze. "No. But you." "I'm not," the child stammered, his heart beating furiously against his ribs. "I'm not your real son, you can send me back." Naruto took a deep breath and pointed to the chair that was beside his bed. "Sasuke, come here," the blonde said. A little nervous, Sasuke complied and sat in the chair. Naruto sat on the bed, stretched his arms and took Sasuke in his arms, sitting him in his bed in front of him. "Gomen nasai," Sasuke. Naruto apologized, astonishing the child. "Sorry I made you suffer. Sorry didn't tell you the truth earlier. You have every reason to be angry with me." Sasuke continued to stare at Naruto in confusion. Naruto was the one who should be angry, not him. I know you feel sad, hurt, and confused, continued Naruto. You must have many questions. I promise that I will tell you the truth. You deserve to know what happened to you. You can ask me anything. Sasuke remained silent, staring at Naruto. He had many questions in his head, some about his past and some about his present. However, there was a question that stubbornly came up in his mind. Are you going to send me away? The child asked again, trying to anticipate the answer by looking at Naruto's facial expression. Do I have to leave? Naruto was surprised by the question. Before answering, Naruto landed a hand on the little boy's head and stroked his raven hair, smiling at him reassuringly. Sasuke looked at him stunned, not expecting that demonstration of affection. I'm not gonna send you away, Naruto replied tenderly. I want you with me, Sasuke. The child felt overwhelmed by a huge feeling of relief. He didn't have to go. He could stay. He didn't lose his home. Feeling happier, Sasuke tried to get closer to Naruto, but he was still afraid to be pushed away. However, when Naruto opened his arms, Sasuke sat on his lap and hugged back of the only father he ever knew. Without his main concern, Sasuke put another major issue. What about my real parents? Why did they leave me? Why didn't they like me? Sasuke asked. The boy felt rejected by those anonymous people and it hurt him deeply. Was it my fault? Did I do something wrong? Naruto made Sasuke look him in the eye. No, Sasuke. I'm sure your parents loved you very much, Naruto replied. Since you dedicated your whole life trying to avenge their deaths, I am sure they loved you as much as you loved them, regardless of your father's obsession for power. Sasuke remained quiet on Naruto's lap, pressing his small child hands in the blonde's chest. So why didn't they stay with me? The confused child asked. Naruto tried to think of the best words to tell him, but there was no way to improve that revelation. They died when you were very young, Naruto said softly. I'm sorry, Sasuke. Sasuke looked down, trying to assimilate the information that Naruto told him. His real parents were dead. On the one hand, he was happy because it meant that he could not be returned to them, and this also meant that they had not abandoned him. However, he also felt sad about their deaths. He would never get to know them. When Naruto noticed that Sasuke had his lip trembling, he held the child against his chest and cradled him as he cried. All he could do was try to protect Sasuke from his pain and try to soothe his grief, while he mourned his parents' death for the second time. Shh. There. It's alright. You can cry, Sasuke, Naruto whispered as he hugged the small child. I'm here with you, son. When he heard Naruto call him son, Sasuke embraced him fiercely. He felt sorry for the loss of a part of his identity, but he also felt comforted by knowing that he still had Naruto, his two-chan, with him. When Sasuke stopped crying, Naruto wiped his tears as he had done thousands of times before. Sasuke could not imagine having any other parents or another family. All he wanted was that Naruto was his real father, so he would not have to go through that situation. He wanted to be attached to Naruto. He wanted to have been born from him. As Sasuke was already soother, Naruto thought it was time to continue with his story. It was better if he told Sasuke the truth instead of find out through someone else. He had the right to know his origins. Sasuke, there is one more thing I need to tell you, Naruto said solemnly. Sasuke looked at him expectantly. It's hard to explain. You may get confused, but I want you to know that you can trust me. If you want to ask questions, you can always do it. I'm here to help you. Sasuke continued to stare at Naruto. What else could he reveal? Naruto rested his hands on the child's back and looked into his familiar onyx eyes. You were born twice, Sasuke. That's it for part 7. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.